Eating Soup Alone is a podcast hosted by me, Christopher Crumley, and co-hosted by Nicholas Johnson. We try our best to ramble incoherently about a handful of movies at least once a week.
Oh, monkeys.
Yes, life's crazy. I don't know when these are supposed to come out. I'm not paying much attention.
Unfortunately, me either.
And every time we record one, we always end it by being like, oh, next time we're going to watch Blade Runner and Godfather Part 2. And then we show up and we're like, we watched Monkeybone and Primate. We did watch Monkeybone and Primate. And I feel like
did
we probably have to talk about Primate first.
Yeah, because
since we just
fresh as hell.
Yeah. But Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year.
And that's about it, really. Right? So,
I got nothing.
monkeys. I've been disconnected from the internet as much as I possibly can manage.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have the apps on my phone. I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast, probably. I will occasionally check Instagram on the browser. And I'll occasionally check Facebook maybe every couple days or whatever. That's always just a hellhole, though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because it's just, I don't know if you've been on there, but it's just everybody reposting their political beliefs.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not inherently a bad thing for people to have them, but it's just like, you know, you go on Instagram and it's also like some of normal life.
Yes.
That's done with Facebook. That's over with Facebook. So it's just not a fun place to be on Facebook. So it's just,
It still blows my mind that in the past 5 years you've interacted with Facebook at all.
I check occasionally.
Not to high road you, but
yeah, no, I hear you. But it's no different than like same thing with Reddit. Like I kept Reddit for a while, but then after a while I was just like, engaging with this is just pissing me off. You know, like
yeah,
because the news is happening either way. I have no power in this world at all. Just because it reminds me of like in the 90s, Bill Hicks, before he passed away of butthole cancer. Funny guy, one of my favorite comedians, but he has a bit where he's like, I don't know if you ever watch like the news for, I don't know, 36 hours straight, but if you do, it's just like war, famine, death, AIDS, war, famine, death, AIDS, that kind of thing. He's like, and then you look outside and it's just cricket, and you're like, where the fuck is all this shit happening? That kind of thing.
Yeah. And
I understand that like what's going on right now in the news is definitely happening, in the city I live in, et cetera, et cetera. But, just the reality of the human condition is that I just personally, my opinion is that, like, we're here for 60 to 80 years if we're lucky. And at no other real time in history, I feel like, were we just bombarded with the worst thing that, like, our overlord capitalist oppressors are doing. And there's also now this infighting where, like, if you're not locked in, pissed all the time, and trying to actively do something, then the other poor people, just like you, are, like, beating down on you just as hard as the overlord oppressors that we've got. And it's just like, can I get a fucking break?
Yeah,
life is fucking hard,
yeah.
I'm here for, like, 60 years. Can I just laugh and be a son and a fucking brother and a fucking friend to people?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, my choice over the last year plus has just been to fucking unplug from social media. And every couple of days, I still hear the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. But at least it's every couple of days and not every hour,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's got to be better for you, for sure.
Yeah, definitely feels better. Because, again, at the end of the day, is I just don't have any power. Like, and I think collectively, there is, like, something to be said for, like, oh, we all changed our profile picture black for Black Lives Matters. Yeah, I'm not saying that that's dumb or anything like that. I'm not trying to take the high road. I'm just saying, like, I can sit one out sometimes for the sake of my mental health, and that's the choice that I have made. But the reason why I went on this rant is because when I was on Instagram, chimps were huge. Monkeys were in. Monkeys are big, right?
Yeah.
And what does horror do if not be like, oh, you guys like the beach? Have you ever thought of Giant Shark? So I feel like this is a movie that's just like, hey, you guys like these monkeys so much. Wait till they rip your jaw off, buddy.
I feel like monkeys... I was going to say the exact opposite. I feel like monkeys haven't had the limelight in a while.
Really?
And I feel like you make a movie about a monkey.
Yeah.
There better be a goddamn real-life monkey in this movie. Are we allowed... Like, do we do that still? Do we still put real monkeys and stuff?
I don't know.
Because...
I don't know. But I Liked that they went with what looked like to me a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle suit. There's some CGI sometimes, but it looks like it's a suit most of the time.
Oh yeah, it's for sure a guy.
Yeah.
in a
which
suit.
is cool. I appreciate that, and I'm giving it points for that, and I'm also giving it points for the score because the score is reminiscent of, as I mentioned in the theater, I think the most recent Carpenter collaboration for the Blumhouse Halloween trilogy. Also reminded me of just Halloween 2 more than anything, but continue.
I was going to say the exact opposite about the score. It was very Carpenter Halloween.
Yeah.
But in a very, I want to say, derivative way.
Sure.
That just really took me out of it every time it came up.
Really?
Because I was like, this is not this movie. It does not fit the vibe.
Yeah.
And it's very out of place.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll just take it over. I mean, we've said it a million times, but I'll take that over. Shunk-gung-gung. Shunk-gung-gung-gung.
Yeah, I get that.
I'll just take anything over that kind of stuff. I'm tired of every trailer did it. I mean, every trailer we saw today did that. And every time like one of those hits, like it's a different flash cut, and then it's quiet for a second, and then shunk-gung-gung-gung,
I'm sorry, I'm looking at Slate.com's list of 15 famous movie monkeys.
Yeah.
And number 2 is King Louie from the Jungle Book. You can't put a cartoon monkey in this list. I want real monkeys. Oh, Tribe Leader from 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's a guy in a costume.
There you go.
Give me real monkeys.
So what did you think of Primate, though?
I didn't like Primate. It's one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time.
For sure.
It is just, I think unsurprisingly, it is just, is there a word for this? This
is schlock.
It's teenager schlock. We're
this
trying to get teens in here to see this movie, which that's not a knock against it. I mean, it is, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. What was bad to me about it is this felt like a movie made for teenagers in the year 2016.
See, to me, it feels like it calls back to even this seems like a movie like some of the horror hosts that I watch will be like, today we're going to talk about 1989's Primate. It didn't even get released in theaters. This is a straight to DVD, just fucking killer Primate movie made for.
Yes, I am surprised this movie didn't come out straight to Paramount Plus.
Yeah, the fact that this is in theaters is completely baffling to me.
Let's see. A few things right off the rip. Why is the dad deaf?
I did enjoy it, though.
I felt like the only time it came up is at one point where he can't hear the monkey behind him.
Yeah.
And then nothing happens, and it just felt like a joke about that man being like, just, haha, this fucker can't hear.
Yeah.
And that felt bad.
Yeah. Yeah, but I feel like they could have leaned into it more for the horror, the almost like the Don't Breathe thing. I never saw those movies. But it's like a blind guy, so he can hear really good. So you have to be like, ooh.
Yeah, I saw Don't Breathe, and I don't really remember any of it. It took place in Detroit. That's all I remember about it.
But it was nice, because I've never seen just people doing sign language in movies. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah?
Yeah.
And it not be like a focal point. And also, another thing I wrote down, Hawaii beautiful, if this is shot in actual Hawaii.
I didn't realize it was Hawaii until the very end.
Okay. Well,
I was just like,
there were a lot of clues.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Like the airplane to Hawaii.
When they were in the house, I'm like, what like weird South American city are they in where all these just white kids are just here hanging out at the end? A cop car says Hawaii police.
There's also a scene where the vet says or he says to the vet, there's no rabies in Hawaii, though. Which was a weird one, because she was like, then in the text form, she was like, well, thank you for your veterinary expertise or something.
Right.
Which seemed like passive-aggressive talk from a vet, even though he's a guy who's written books about apes. It's never defined clearly what he does, because he has a doctor come over to look at the ape, which would imply to me that he doesn't have any veterinary knowledge, really. And also his wife's a linguist, not like some kind of scientist. And I'm assuming that he just wrote either fiction or nonfiction about being so close to apes, or maybe about his deafness, because the names of the films are A Silent Cry, or the books, are A Silent Cry and A Silent Scream. So I don't know if that's... But wait, I don't know. But all I'm trying to say is, it was a weird text message, because I was like, is she genuinely thanking him? Because like, if she's a vet, she would know that.
Yeah.
You know. But whatever. Small gripe. Other small gripe, this nice-ass house would definitely have a nice-ass security system.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, those kids do just kind of wander in toward the end. Also, I feel like this movie is shot at someone's home that worked on the movie, for sure.
Yeah. Definitely saved a lot of money with having like basically one location.
Yeah, this whole movie takes place in a pool.
Yeah,
basically. The first nitpick that really got me in the movie is they're all getting out of plane and they all meet each other on the plane.
Right.
Not at the airport. They're all getting onto the plane one by one, going,
like, hey, you're here, yeah.
Oh, shoot, you invited her? Like it's a bus. Everybody just piles onto this plane. Like you don't get to a flight 2 hours early and then sit in the airport and like load in groups.
Here's my nitpick. Don't have the cold open be a scene that happens 30 minutes later in the movie.
Yes, but it's the most interesting scene in the movie. Can you imagine if this movie started without that and you had to just watch these fuckers just walk around and talk to each other about goddamn nothing for 30 minutes?
But that is the first oh my gosh moment. So the general setup is that there is a deaf man, cannot remember his name,
Adam.
Dead wife.
Unnamed.
She is a linguist who is trying to teach monkeys how to interact with human beings. They live in Hawaii with a primate named Ben. And Lucy is their daughter, and Erin is their younger daughter, and Lucy's coming home with her friend Hannah and
Nick.
Is that what
the brother is? And Kate.
Kate, yeah, Hannah, Kate, and then Nick's already there. I think Nick just lives in Hawaii.
That's true.
And Erin just lives in Hawaii. They're on a plane to come home. They meet a couple of boys. They come home. Dad's leaving for a business trip. Something's wrong with Ben because a mongoose got into Ben's enclosure. Mongoose that has rabies bit Ben. Ben now has rabies, which made me sad in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, there's no, like, from my understanding, like, once you've got it, you're done. It's cooked. You know, like, if you get bit and then you immediately go to the hospital, you know, there's a chance.
Within 48 hours at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. So, sad. And I was like, man, Ben, they could have saved you.
Something I was thinking about after this movie, the dad at least, the deaf father, is going to jail for the rest of his life.
Is he allowed to have this ape?
Even if you are, he took care of it so irresponsibly, and it killed 9 kids.
Yeah.
It got bit by a wild animal, and he went,
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, okay, we need to take care of this now, because he could have rabies. Because when you have an animal, one of the highest things I feel like you think about is rabies. Yeah, you're like, I don't want my dog to get rabies.
Yeah.
And then just fucks off to wherever.
Sign of books, yeah.
And then Rob Delaney, the Hawaiian shirt-wearing monkey doctor, shows up, doesn't knock on the front door.
Just goes to the back.
Just goes to the backyard, already has a key to the monkey cage.
Yeah.
And goes and gets his face ripped off.
Well, yeah, if you're a monkey doctor, you probably got your monkey clients on speed dial, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're probably pretty close. But
you'd also probably be like, my teenage daughters are there.
Yeah.
So
let them know you're coming up.
Please don't sneak around my backyard. Why do you show up in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the first thing that happens though is this man loses half of his face.
Yes, which I thought was a good call, putting that at the beginning. Because while this boring shit was happening at the beginning, I was like, okay, but I know I'm gonna get a movie in a minute where a monkey's ripping body parts off, so I can sit through.
What did you think about the face tear?
I thought it was good. It really got me. Really got me right out of the gate.
Again, there could be some CGI augmentation, but I think for the most part, a lot of this has practical elements, right?
Oh yeah,
I mean, I'm not an expert, but I'm not the biggest fan of gore. It's pretty gory, but I was kind of like, it's cool to see them, like, you know.
Yes, it all looked like rubber and plastic getting ripped off of rubber and plastic instead of big CGI
mess. Yeah.
They're swimming in a pool because pool make monkey crazy.
Yeah.
Because of rabies. I didn't know that. At first, I thought it was implying because I didn't really read the beginning scroll that thoroughly, even though it was like 9 sentences. I thought at the beginning it said that looking at water gave animals rabies. I was like, oh, this can't be, right?
Yeah.
And then I pieced it together afterwards. I was like, oh no, you have rabies and water makes you crazy if you have rabies. So the monkey doesn't like the pool. He starts freaking out on Erin.
Yeah, bites the fucking dog shit out of her thigh.
Oh, before that. Before the dad even leaves, he's there and he doesn't like looking at the water.
Yeah.
The dad looks like the monkey, which is crazy now that I think about it.
Looks like Chris D'Elia also.
He also looks like Chris D'Elia. He looks like an old Chris D'Elia monkey man.
Yeah.
And,
My cat's in heat. Juno, there's no pee-pee around. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, baby. Very horny.
That's the craziest sound I've ever heard a cat make.
Yeah. Have you ever been around a cat that's not fixed?
I don't believe so.
Well, now you are. She's getting fixed in a couple of days, but yeah. Basically, since she's not fixed, it means once a month she does that for a week.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All hours of the day and night. Just begging to get boned. Couldn't be hornier.
Much like this monkey.
Yeah.
He then goes into his cage, Rob Delaney lets him out, dies. They're all just fucking around the house, and then
Drinking.
Monkey starts acting weird downstairs by the pool.
Yeah.
And the kid Nick goes, "Hey, I think there's a rope over there. Let's tie him up."
Yeah.
Like you could, like the monkey's gonna sit still and let you tie him up.
Yeah, like he's also not super strong or doesn't
Exactly.
have fangs in his mouth to bite through it.
Exactly.
But it's fine. I mean, you're in a high-pressure situation, whatever. Try to tie up the monkey. I just feel like, again, I was not around the killer monkey.
It's true.
But he was not that crazy in the beginning, and he gets more and more crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like perfect time to try to slink upstairs and grab a phone real quick.
Oh, absolutely. They all look at him with their back to the stairs for way too long.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're right. He bites the shit out of that girl's thigh.
Yeah, and she's bleeding profusely into the pool.
And they just, oh, yeah.
Kind of make me cringe a little. I was like, oh.
Absolutely. I was like, oh. her-
She's like, what, 15 probably?
Yeah, I'm like, all
a
her
little
blood's
lady.
getting replaced by chlorine water.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're going to be like immediately into the pool. So I was like, oh, that's going to feel great on the
Yeah.
on the monkey bite.
Which I thought could have been, because no one ever calls for help in this
Yeah.
movie, because there's a lot of contrived reasons why none of them have their phone.
Yeah. Until the end when the lady is in the car and she
Yes.
gets a hold of that 911.
I think, but she grabs one of those guys' phones that showed up, right?
It's Nick's.
Oh, okay.
Nick's phone's from the front, yeah.
I thought it would have been good. This is like, would have been the perfect like instance of a modern horror movie having to get everyone's cell phones out of the picture immediately. They all jump in the pool. They all have their phones on them.
Yeah.
And they all just jump in the pool without thinking about it. Like, oh, now our phones don't work because they're wet.
Yeah.
And then they're in this pool for what feels like an hour and a half.
For most of the movie.
They try to push the monkey over the edge.
They fall asleep twice on that raft.
Do they? I got up and left.
You did. You got up and left, and what happened was they fell asleep, and then Hannah wakes up, and she's like, you guys, he's gone. And then there are lights hanging above the pool, and he was actually just up there, and he grabs the one girl who was trying to bang Nick by her hair and, like, pulls her, not just hair out, but some of her scalp.
Ugh.
Which is super crazy because she then doesn't, like, continue to scream for, like, the next 30 seconds, minute, whatever. She's just back to normal immediately after it happens. It's so strange. It's almost like an editing blooper almost, where, like, I feel like, or, like, a continuity gag almost. Like,
Yeah,
not
okay.
intentional, but it's just one of those things where it's, like, literally the next scene, they're just, like, sitting there like, is he gone? I would be like, you know, I mean, like, if I had been scalped.
my hair off.
Yeah. But, so yeah, that happens.
And then I came back from the bathroom and he's watching Dora on TV.
Right, because they tried to sneak into the house and get a phone.
Okay.
And then they accidentally step on the Roku TV remote and turn on Dora, which is a gag because there's a monkey in that movie. And then they try to hide in a closet, like Michael Myers, like Laurie Strode hiding from Michael Myers. And I can't remember how they get out of that scenario. Do you remember how they get out of that scenario?
I think he just leaves. He like starts bashing through the closet,
Right, and then
he
they
just goes, "Meh."
and then they like walk out, and he's like Lucy bad or something, and then they like try to run.
Yes.
And then initially I'm like,
Got
oh, they
the
got
iPad.
they got 8-proof glass, but no, they don't. He just needed to charge up his 8 powers a little bit. And,
You're right, he did. I was thinking the same thing you were saying with the rope when she's like holding the door handle and he's trying to get it to him. Like, you are not stronger than this dang monkey.
but they eventually get back to the pool. So now, we forgot the part where Nick gets pulled off the side because he tries to push the monkey.
Yes, and he lands
Yeah.
right on the top of his head.
So the
which is
doc's
so
dead.
funny.
Yeah, it was very funny. Doc's dead. Nick's dead. I think on the way back, Hannah gets her head destroyed by a rock by the ape.
Which is upsetting because you know they're really good friends because they have those matching necklaces that they showed us a bunch of times.
Yeah. So we're down to having Lucy and the girl that was trying to bang her.
Hannah.
Yeah. No, Hannah's the other one. This one
Hannah's-
is. Hannah's the one that got her head bashed with a rock.
No, that's...
Yeah.
No.
No?
That's Kate.
Oh, my bad. Okay,
I'm
so
looking
Hannah.
I'm looking at IMDb right now.
All right, so Lucy, Hannah, and Aaron are left.
Correctamundo.
And then the boys show up.
From the plane. They met two
Correct.
hot guys on the plane.
They're the worst and the most out of place.
Yep.
Because they don't feel like real people, whereas like everybody else in the movie, I'm not saying it's like a fucking masterpiece of writing, but like I was like, yeah, these are real people that exist. But these two boys, I was like, these are not. They just feel like 2009 Friday versus Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, he's
like
wearing
Friday
a
the 13th.
puka shell necklace.
Yeah, in the year of our Lord 2026.
And I thought, oh, cool, two guys to very quickly get torn apart by monkeys.
Yeah.
Because that's fun to see, and that's why I want to come to this movie. It delivers on one of them. He rips a guy's jaw off and then puts up his own jaw and goes, bah, 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 which I thought was pretty funny.
I thought that was a good touch. It's like because again, like I'm not a big fan of like the jaw rip off is like, oh fuck, but then like him put it on his jaw. I'm like, now that's like some Texas Chainsaw Massacre level of like, what the fuck, you know? And
then you don't even see the other guy die.
Yeah.
And I was like,
right, you just hear the noises because they're like going at it with a shovel.
Yeah. I paid $8 to be here. I want to see that monkey kill every single person.
Then at this point, I think Dad decides, you know what, I gotta leave this book signing. I gotta check on my daughters. Because he's been texting with the vet, and the vet's like, yo, is this a joke? Like, that mongoose you mailed me has rabies. And he's like, there's no rabies in Hawaii. And she's like, thank you for your veterinary expertise.
Also, from what I'm reading on this IMDb trivia, no rabies in Hawaii, correct. Illegal to own a pet chimp in Hawaii. And also, monkeys can absolutely swim.
So, Hannah makes a break for it. Gets a phone. Gets a set of keys. Get into a car. At this point, I was like, wow, good for you, Hannah. She grabbed the wrong keys, though. And because she goes into the boy's car. And Ben has the boy's keys. Because the dude was like, ooh, keys, fetch. And then they do this gag where like she's locking it and he's unlocking it. Then he climbs into the back, which was decently suspenseful. The only problem I have is just there's only so far I can go with killer monkey. You know?
Yes.
Like if that was a guy, I think I've seen that in a Scream movie.
It happens in Scream 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, a monkey don't know how no key fob works. A monkey can't open the trunk of a car with a key fob.
Yeah. So she gets absolutely destroyed in a car by an ape. Or a chimpanzee or a primate, whatever. And then Deaf Dad shows up. They do the sequence or gag or whatever you want to call it, where his daughter's getting horrifically beaten by a chimpanzee, but he has no idea because he can't hear. Which should be horrific, but the way they play it off is like with him biting pizzas and stuff. So it's just kind of like, it's like, okay, well, you're doing it kind of goofy. But I do think that there was potential there for that to be scarier. Like, when he's walking up the stairs just to, like, presumably go to bed or something like that, that would have been, like, kind of like, oh, fuck, like, he has no idea. But instead they do the thing where he's like, my kids had beer and stuff, I'll make one of these pizzas, you know.
Also, I do like he came home to check on his daughters because no one's answering the phone. He walks in, no one's there, he gets a piece of pizza and goes, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Then just a kerfuffle, like, just a fatal four-way, a 3-on-1. You know, just dad and daughters trying to beat a fucking ape to death with their bare hands. And eventually they kind of do, except for they do bottle stab him in the chest.
I laughed pretty hard when that dad full force punched that monkey in the head.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why that got me so
It's just
mad.
very realistic. The ape bites you, and then I'm assuming you'd be so pissed the first thing you would do is probably punch the ape in the head.
Yes, I just know, for some reason.
Not to say it's okay, it's just that's human it's human nature. If someone bites you hard as fuck, you're probably going to, like...
Just no one in the movie had punched the monkey yet. Yeah. And it just really got me.
And then I'm assuming they all got rabies shots and just movie over. They try to do like a weird jump scare at the end where like the cops are fucking with the speaking iPad that he uses.
Yeah, the monkey iPad.
Yeah.
And he just happens to push
Lucy Bad or something.
Lucy Bad.
Yeah.
I thought that monkey iPad was going to get used way more, but he did it to prank that one time, and that was.
And then all he did was hit dead a bunch. He hit dead a bunch. It was one where he's just like dead.
Oh, I missed that.
Dead.
I missed him peeing.
Yeah, you pissed a lot.
A lot of monkey pranks in this, which I really enjoyed. When he's like with Lucy in a room, she like tries to like reach out her hand, and he does too, and he like grabs her hand, and they shake a little bit, and he just snaps her hand backwards. Yeah. Classic monkey prank. I really
you got it. You fell for it. You trusted the ape.
I did. I'm gonna give this movie a D-.
I was thinking D plus.
Yeah.
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 It's like I said, I'm not disappointed. You know, like I knew what I was going into.
Yeah, I have no one to blame but myself. So,
Yeah. But if you want to see a monkey rip a guy's jaw off and stuff like that, then yeah, Primate. It's... Oh my god, this cat.
She said, no, I was going to go see it tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, and then we also watched Monkeybone, which is a beloved film from your childhood.
A beloved film from my childhood. Surprisingly, when we watched this the other day, I told you I hadn't seen it since I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
I remembered 100% of this movie when we were watching it.
Yeah. And what did you think?
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
But it's kind of exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
There is a pretty kick-ass movie in here somewhere.
Yeah, it's like a Frankenstein's monster almost.
It just doesn't materialize from like what I've heard and read here and there online.
Yeah,
there's a lot of studio
it's based on a story, like some kind of book or comic. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks kind of like the downtown world.
Okay.
And it's directed by the gentleman who did Henry Selick, who did Nightmare Before Christmas and
James and Giant
Peach and Coraline and stuff like that.
It was written by a guy who did some like work on, from what I read, like some uncredited writing on Batman Returns, Tim Burton's Batman Returns, and also has done some Batman '89 comic work. So clearly a very big fan of the Tim Burton stuff as well.
And I feel like if I showed you screenshots from this movie and told you the plot of it, like beat for beat what happens, you'd be like, this movie must kick ass.
Yeah.
But something about it, just the way it's edited, nothing really has any time to breathe ever.
Yeah.
It's way too quick, and just strange in a bad way. Just the way it's set up, it just doesn't really come together. But I still enjoyed rewatching Monkeybone.
Yeah.
How was your first time watching Monkeybone, Christopher?
Very similar. It's one of those like almost like a spectacle film, almost like a Lost Media or something, where like it reminds me of. I haven't seen it yet. But there's a Dan Aykroyd directorial debut movie called Nothing But Trouble. I don't know if you ever heard of this film.
No, I haven't.
But it is a like horror comedy that stars Chevy Chase, and it basically like ruined Chevy and Dan Aykroyd's career for about a decade.
Cool.
Yeah, it came out in like 92 or something like that. It was like the last thing that they did before, because it was just a box office bomb, and Hollywood was like, well, guess these two are done, until they kind of came back around. But it's based on a real life thing that happened to Chevy Chase, where he got pulled over late at night speeding in like just a backwoods nowhere ass town. And because it was a backwoods nowhere ass town, the police officer just brought him to the judge's house in the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. And they just like figured it out there and then, like right on the spot or whatever. And he was just like, the whole time I just kept thinking like, I could like fall through the floor of this mansion in a trap door right now, and just like no one would ever know where the fuck I am. Like I would just be a missing person for the rest of like eternity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen a bit of this because Dan Aykroyd is the judge and his nose is a penis.
Yeah.
Like doesn't look like a penis. It just is one.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And so yeah, that's a good example. But anyway, so that's what I mean. It's like one of those films like that where it's like just this movie that nobody's seen of Brendan Fraser in his actual prime. Did this end his run? Is this the run ender, or where does this fall in the?
I don't think so. It came out in 2001. He must have done stuff after that, right?
Well, he disappeared for a long time.
He did, but it probably wasn't because of Monkeybone.
Well, look it up.
I'm trying. How
much did Monkeybone cost? How much did Monkeybone make?
Executive producer Christopher Columbus. Budget of $75 million. A box office.
Good fucking Christ.
Of $7.
Oof.
Dollars. No, $7 million.
What did Brendan Fraser do after this?
Let's see. There we go. It took me way too long to find Brendan Fraser's name on the Monkeybone Wikipedia. Yada 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 yada. You're not gonna show me a fucking okay. Chris Vamp. I'm trying to find this.
Oh, yeah, but like you were saying, yeah, it kind of feels like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and it also kind of feels like Beetlejuice. And these are on the positive side, and then on the negative side, it also feels something like Son of Mask.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just like a weird, like hodgepodge of like 90s Tim Burton Pee-wee's Adventure adjacent things that would work, smashed together with like 2001 through 2003, like Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat almost type feeling, you know.
Okay. Monkeybone in 2001, also 2001, The Mummy Returns.
Yeah.
In Quiet America, Dick Roberts. 2003, Looney Tunes back in action. 2003, his incredible run on Scrubs for 3 episodes. He's really good in that.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Mummy, The Ride. And then in 2005, he was in King of the Hill, and this seems to be about the end of it, yeah.
Okay.
He's in just some stuff here and there.
So he had some Mummy after this. He had some Mummy and Looney Tunes back to action after this.
He was in The Fairly Odd Parents?
So the first, let's see. Let me take a look at my notes. Let's see the first thing that I wrote down here. Let's write down my score. The scores really quick. So I gave it a D plus with Primate. You gave it a D minus with Monkeybone. First thing I wrote down is arm flap. Oh, right. So the the opening is Brendan Fraser going to unveil a comic that he's made of Monkeybone. Monkeybone is basically like his libido, his like dick, his second brain.
Yes.
Yeah, which was surprising. I'm going to say this off rip. The reason why I made you watch Primate was because I was expecting a live monkey in this film the whole time. Like an actual live monkey.
You thought there'd be a real monkey?
I thought there'd be
Monkeybone?
What I thought is once they came back from the underworld, from the afterlife, that Monkeybone would sneak his way up and come back as like a real chimp.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
But no, he comes back as a real Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
But what if Brendan Fraser came back as a monkey?
Hey,
would that
and it was
make
a
this
Freaky
movie
Friday
work?
thing? Yeah, totally. Yes. And he had to
I really like Chris Kattan though as the dead
I did,
gymnast.
Yeah. So arm flap boner. The cartoon is about him seeing his like English teacher's flabby fat arms and getting a boner in class, and the boner is actually Monkeybone. Then I wrote down, because you're right, nothing gets a chance to breathe. You find out this is we're like 4 minutes into the film. You find out that he's about to like propose, and then a toy goes haywire in his car, and he gets put in a coma.
His car just backs up across the street, and it knocks him into a coma.
Yeah, yeah. So while he's in this coma for about 3 months.
But him dropping through the bed, going into the coma, you know what I mean? And there's that shot of like everybody looking down at the bed as it's going down. Love that.
Yeah.
From here on, everything in downtown
and
all the nightmare stuff, I like so much.
I don't know if it's been done before Train Spotting, but that exact thing happens in Train Spotting.
Yeah.
You remember that scene?
No, I don't.
He overdoses and he falls into the carpet just like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's why I like it.
But, so, then we find out that the way that he's met the woman he wants to propose to is she worked at a sleep clinic, and that he was a guy who came in there because he had nightmares all the time, and she helped him not have nightmares all the time.
Which all sounds very interesting. I would have liked to see that.
Yeah, and I will say this also. So, I'm jumping ahead slightly, but I'll say 2 things. Reminds me of Adaptation, in the sense that Monkeybone is clearly like the part of him that is like uncontrollably outgoing and wants to fuck and blah 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 blah, and then he's like the nervous nebbish type, just like Charlie Kaufman and Donald Kaufman in the Adaptation, where Donald Kaufman he's a figment of, he's not real. That's a fictitious thing that Charlie Kaufman wrote. He doesn't have a brother named Donald, but it's the part of him that is like that, and then Charlie's the the Costanza version of himself. That's all of the So anyways, and then the other thing is that this movie is almost like Freddy vs. Jason, in the sense that these nightmare people, because eventually when he's in the coma, he goes to a world there's that involves death and the afterlife, but also the nightmare people that watch his nightmares or whatever.
Yeah.
And they have a plot, much like Freddy had a plot, to send Jason back to make everybody afraid again, to give them more power, to give Freddy more power. Same thing, they have a plot to send Monkeybone up there in Brendan Fraser's body to disperse a nightmare chemical to make the nightmare people have more power or whatever. You get what I'm saying?
They're just like the TV people up top. They just want views. That's all they're doing this for, is to drive engagement.
Yeah. So anyways, they're in, it's called Downtown.
Purgatory, basically.
Yeah. You hang out, you have martinis, you watch Monkeybone do a number. They decide to steal an exit pass from Death, who is Whoopi Goldberg, which Monkeybone does. And at this point, I'm like, hell yeah, Monkeybone.
Ride or die.
I was like, this guy's a G. he ends up stealing the pass and coming back in Brendan Fraser's body. And this part of the movie is apeshit.
Yeah, it's not good. It's crazy.
It's fucking insane, yeah. Because he's just eating cake. I can't fault Brendan Fraser because he's doing what the director asked him to do. Yeah. But it's also like, I don't want to watch this. Because he's like swinging around all air quotes sexy while like Foxy Lady play.
Yeah. There's 2 needle drops in 30 seconds while he's trying to seduce his girlfriend.
Yeah. And it just reeks of like 80-year-old like money guys, like producers being like, yeah, they're gonna love that.
He's like a monkey.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm watching it on my computer right now.
Sure.
Before he gets out of the coma, when he's watching his girlfriend's nightmare, of them pulling the plug on him and he deflates, kept me up for days as a child.
Oh, really?
Just that man deflating and just like the rubber him laying on the floor, horrifying. And then his nightmare later on that you actually see where he's the little guy on the table,
the Eraserhead nightmare.
That horrified me as a kid as well.
Yeah. Understandably, he also switched hands to draw Monkeybone.
Not how that works.
They looked at like the David Lynch painting he did, and they were like, he did this also as well as the thing about getting a boner in class. And they're like, yeah, he switched hands.
I told him to switch hands and maybe he could make some money.
He also says something about Choke, my monkey. Obviously, that was going to come at some point. His sister shows up. I think she's supposed to be a comedic relief, but she doesn't play right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's supposed to be funny.
Yeah, like this movie doesn't know how to use her.
Yeah, it doesn't play the right way.
She doesn't play as annoying or funny. It's just like
somewhere in between where you're just like, okay, yeah. Because she shows up smoking a cigarette, and she's just like, we made a pact that we'd pull the plug if ever. Well, if either of us were ever a vegetable, and which one is it? You know, and the which one is it thing should be funny, but it's just not. You're just like, it just doesn't land.
And she's like,
and it should
excited to kill him.
Yeah,
like she wants this over with, and it's like, okay, is she gonna get?
But it doesn't go anywhere. They never they never.
She has no motivation for wanting to kill her brother other than she just wants it.
Yeah, because again, like it's one of those jokes that like, you know, if it were in Scary Movie or something, like the Wayans brother could make that land, but like they did not. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like the dumbest of comedies could make that character funny. I don't know how they fucked up that situation.
And then in downtown, Brendan Fraser, the real one, gets put into a prison with Attila the Hun, Edgar Allan Poe,
Jack the Ripper,
that one lady,
Stephen King,
and
Lizzie Borden
and Stephen
King was supposed to be in this movie actually. Yes, it's a lookalike. Apparently, got into a van accident and he couldn't make it.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Also, the guy that plays Edgar Allan Poe is like Edgar Allan Poe the Fifth.
Wow.
Which
this is about the time I wrote down if a Tim Burton movie got motherfucked by studio interference.
Which I think, is exactly what happened.
Yeah. Then, part of downtown Squirrel Nut Zipper's needle drop happens.
Oh, yes, it does.
I wrote down Eraserhead Doctor's Office because they go into the painting he made earlier. And then I wrote down was not expecting Monkeybone to come back as Stu. I thought for sure there would be a live action monkey. I can't stress this enough. I thought there was in my head. I feel like you've shown this to me. I don't know why. I thought I remembered Brendan Fraser chasing a live monkey around.
He kisses one on the mouth later, but
I don't know why. I'm so disappointed because I thought like, oh, there's got to be a movie where this happens.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there has to be a movie in the 2000s where Brendan Fraser chases a monkey. I'm gonna Google Brendan Fraser monkey. Guarantee.
Just type in comedy where a guy chases a monkey around. See what that brings up. Because there is a movie where this happens. But I just thought it was also Brendan Fraser who did the chasing. Nothing? You're not getting anything?
It's Dunstan Checks In.
What is that?
It's a movie about a monkey at a hotel, I want to say. Starring Jason Alexander.
Monkey comedies.
Paul Rubens is also in it.
Bad Monkey, Hit Monkey, Code Monkeys, My Gym Partner's a Monkey, Kung Fu Panda,
Monkey Trouble,
Lunch Monkey, Best Monkey and Ape Movies, Monkey Comedy.
Blank Check feels like a movie that would star a monkey, but I don't think it does.
The Monkey, Monkey Trouble, Monkeybone,
MVP.
Dunstan Checks In. Is it Dunstan Checks In? Come on, man. Funky Monkey, The Monkey's Paw, Monkey Up.
What's Monkey Up about?
I don't know if it came out in 2016. But you can go ahead and look up Monkey Up if you'd like. There's a movie called Spy Ape from 2006. Look at this fucking poster.
Who's in Monkey Mate?
Throw up Emma Roberts, Richard Kind. Emma Roberts and Richard Kind.
Really?
Yeah, you want to watch it?
I kind of do. Monkey Up is a spin-off of Air Bud.
Oh my god. Man. What the hell am I thinking of?
You know that movie The Monkey that came out, directed by Osgood Perkins?
Yeah. Should we have watched that?
Apparently the other day my mom was babysitting my nephew. And like, just looking for something for him to watch. And she saw something called The Monkey with a monkey on it. And he went, I want to watch that. My mom went, okay, it's a monkey movie.
Yeah.
And she turned it on and left.
Yeah.
And my 3-year-old nephew watched Osgood Perkins' The Monkey.
Wow.
And it fucked him up, apparently. Like, he went home and told my mom about it. Like, yeah, I saw this movie where a monkey killed a bunch of people.
Wow.
And my sister went, oh, gosh. And then he said it again to my mom. My mom's like, ooh. And then my sister was like, you watched that movie with a monkey? And he goes, yeah, he killed people. My sister went, do you know what that means? And he goes, no, but he killed people.
Wow.
So, that kid's done for, I think.
It reminds me of that Kumail Nanjiani joke where he's talking about like how much he loves superheroes. And he's like, at one time I rented The Elephant Man because I thought like he's got the strength of 100 men. Like, he's got the sadness of 100 men. He was like, I leaned around. I was like, good thing this is fake, right? She's like, no, Camille, this one is real.
When the Tarantino Paul Dano stuff was going on, I kept seeing that clip of Norm Macdonald doing an impression of him.
Yeah.
Have you seen it before?
Like on SNL, I think.
He's like,
right?
he's doing it, and he's just like, yeah, man, all right, man. Yeah. And he goes, and because, you know, the thing is, man, my head is so big, and I don't mean like my ego, man, I mean my head is so big. I have to sleep sitting up like the Elephant Man, or I'll die, you know?
That's good. That's good. Well, anyway, so from this point on, Monkeybone's back. Like I said, he eats cake like an ape. He goes ape shit in the bedroom. He wants to have sex with a bunch of women. Never does, seemingly. The whole time, Stu's fiance is a wreck. Because she's just like... First of all, she gave him too much Hypnosil to wake him up. So she thinks that she damaged his brain by doing that.
Yes.
Because obviously she doesn't think that the soul of a fictitious monkey is inside of her fiance's body. Does that happen in the comic? What happens in the comic?
There is no Monkeybone in the comic.
What do you mean? What do you mean there's no Monkeybone?
This is a very loose adaptation.
What do you mean there's no Monkeybone in the comic?
Well, let me see. What is it based off of?
So he is running around signing all these deals, marketing deals for like Monkeybone merchandise, Monkeybone burgers. There's this one Monkeybone that farts, and he whips up this secret laboratory where he puts purple nightmare juice in the butts of all of these farting monkeys. And then there's supposed to be like a big natural history museum like thing that happens where he's going to make everybody pull the finger out of the monkey toy's butt, and the purple, and it happens to his manager, and his manager gets naked, and the purple doesn't come off of his face, and it's supposed to be funny, and he sings a big number about how his fiance's a brick house or whatever, and the whole time, Chris Kattan, because Brendan Fraser makes a deal with Whoopi Goldberg to come back for an hour just so he can tell his fiance that he loves her, and Chris Kattan is Bob Odenkirk is also very funny. But Chris Kattan is like a dead gymnast who broke his neck, and he's also like Bob Odenkirk is in the middle of removing his organs, and he comes to life, and he has to like run away from this van full of doctors who are just like, we're not trying to hurt you, we're doctors, we just want your organs. Very funny. And Chris Kattan like duct tapes the hole in his stomach shut, and like puts a ruler on his neck and like tapes his head to the ruler.
Chris Kattan is so good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
The only thing I didn't remember from this movie is in my head all of these years, that guy's played by French Stewart in my brain for some reason, which I think would have been better. But I think his physical acting in this is really good.
I think Chris Kattan plays French Stewart in Celebrity Jeopardy on SNL, so that's why you said that.
So funny.
I could be absolutely wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I can't find anything about Darktown that Monkeybone was based off of.
You can't find anything about it?
I can find this one little write-up about it on comicbooksinthemedia.com. Darktown is a comic book by Canadian cartoonist Kaja Blackley. A man, Jacques de Berg, is in a coma after being in a car accident. He finds himself in Darktown, where the land is dominated by strange, living, breathing puppets and marionettes with button eyes. The lords of Darktown are trying to kill Jock and use his body in the real world as a vessel for the agent for an agent of Darktown. There's only one problem: Jock's imagination. He carries it with him always in a red suitcase. It protects him from the horrors of Darktown. Meanwhile, in the real world, Jock's wife decides to take him off of life support. He now only has 12 hours to live. Back in Darktown, Jock encounters Death, who informs him of his time limit and tells him how to escape Darktown. The book ends on a cliffhanger as Jock is captured by a knight after wandering onto a chessboard. Not a monkey bone in sight. Anywho, Monkey Bone into the real world. Chris Kattan, Bob Odenkirk chasing for the organs.
Mm-hmm.
They're at a fundraiser or something. They're at some event with a big head that's got all the farting monkeys in it that are going to make all the nightmares.
Purple.
And then Chris Kattan shows up with the dog, and the dog is like, "This is the real deal, wife." And so the wife bullies Chris Kattan
because of the dog. Yep. Yeah, he tells the story much like Jason Mewes does, and if anybody's ever seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, he is talking to someone who he's just met, knows none of these people, and he's like, well, Banky and Ben Affleck made a cartoon out of us, but now Hollywood's gonna turn it into a movie or whatever, so we gotta go talk to Banky and stop him from it. And at a certain point, like, people, there's literally a scene in that movie where the little lady that he's talking to just goes like, "I have no idea what you're talking about," because like that's how Brendan Fraser's just like talking to her as if he's not a fucking zombie right now with a duct taped head and stuff. He's just like, "I was gonna give this to you, after the thing happened." He never says like, when I got into that car accident and I went into a coma, I was going to propose to you before that. He just talks to her as if he came to her looking like Brendan Fraser, which is funny, but it's also, that is a detail that happens. He doesn't ever use any proper nouns, is what I'm trying to say. He just says things like it and when, and when these things happen. Yeah. It's very funny because she's just like, kind of like, this could just be a crazy person, or this, which is why they do it, or this could be Stu, but
I think they ride a balloon and fight the big monkey bone balloon.
Yep.
And then they land. They both die.
Right.
Whoopi Goldberg goes, "Brendan Fraser,
you get to go
I
back.
like the cut of your jib," which I really like. I don't know why. Yeah. I like the resolution of this movie is that Whoopi Goldberg's like, I think you're cool.
You're okay.
You can go.
Yeah.
And she sends him back. Also, his jacket is just out of control. The one he wears at the beginning of this movie.
Smiley.
Yeah, and then I like that it's white in Death World. Anyway. Yeah. Luckily, he wakes up in an ambulance where a guy is shaving his head, so he gets to shave his soul patch off and then go reunite with his wife. And they kiss. And then I think the movie's over.
What do you give Monkey Bone?
I'm going to give Monkey Bone a C-.
C-?
I liked it more than Primate, but it is not a good movie.
Yeah. I'm going to also give it a D+, I think.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yeah.
But does this change your mind? We didn't bring it up. Monkey Bone voiced by John Turturro.
How do you feel about that?
Weird. I don't know how to feel about it because it doesn't sound like John Turturro, and I don't think it's a good voice being done.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well.
We're at 48 minutes.
Okay.
Want to talk a little bit about Superbad? Or do you want to save it for another episode?
Let's save it. I literally watched 15 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool. I watched most of it. Okay, we'll save it for another time.
Yeah. I mean, is that what you want to do next?
No.
I wanted to... Here's my thing, because I like the Monkey Bone vibe. You give me what you got, but I was going to say Drop Dead Fred for my pick.
Okay.
What was your idea, though? Give me your pitch.
My pitch probably won't fit with Drop Dead Fred, but
I can augment things.
I'd like to see Drop Dead Fred, but also they don't have the match. For the holidays this year, when people asked me what I wanted, I said, I want movies and books, and get me Criterion Collection movies. And my sister got me Paris, Texas, which I have never seen, but I have it now on Blu-ray, and I'd like to watch it.
Okay.
Do you want to do Paris, Texas? Or do you want to do something else with Drop Dead Fred?
Let's do Paris, Texas, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Okay. That'll be a great title, Paris, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. I like it. I'm down.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
And Superbad? No, we say Superbad for another time.
Well, yeah. So, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Last thing I want to say beforehand. I did not do any research into this. But, this is the first time this has happened to me on YouTube, where, like, I'm like, snuggled in, and I'm watching, like, a video essay. And it's about, like how Bethesda and BioWare have, like, fallen from grace. Mm-hmm. And I'm like 15, 20 minutes in where it's just talking about like how like, you know, the rich lore and blah, 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 blah. And now it's all shallow and stuff. And then just halfway through, neutrally, the guy's just like, as if it's obvious and like it's not a major part of it's not a major part of the video. It's just like him being like, obviously we know this, and like continuing on with his argument. But he's like, you know, a lot of this does have to do with like since 2020, like just all of the diversity hires that have been happening, like just you know, people of color and queer folks who just don't have the qualifications to get hired because they have to meet quotas. And you know, there was the mass hiring in 2020 where people were just hiring anybody and stuff, and so those two things combined, yada yada yada. And like I said, they didn't do any research, but I was like, mass hiring during 2020.
The exact opposite was happening.
Is that a thing?
No.
That sounds like not a thing to me.
No, that's just a bunch of made up racist guy stuff.
Yeah. And it was so weird to be halfway through a video and just... I gave it a downvote immediately because I was like,
right on.
The fuck? Where did this come from? This was so normal until then. I've
seen so many posts where guys like that are like... A game will come out that they don't like or other people don't like, and they'll think it's because of DEI reasons, and they'll post it like... The studio, like let's say Bethesda will post a behind the scenes video of like the production team talking about making the game, and like, oh look at this, their lead writer, a fucking blue-haired lesbian, and blah 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 blah, because of the diversity hires that have to happen now, they're ruining games, and people will be like, this is so and so, she wrote Oblivion and Skyrim, she's been here, she's made things that you love,
and that's the thing too, is that like that is like the dumb guy argument, because like just for example, World of Warcraft right now, I just saw a video a little while ago about how like recently from like 2020 on, there was like a big stretch of expansions people didn't really care for because everybody was like, this doesn't really feel like World of Warcraft, like what is going on? And recently there was a video from like one of the bigger content creators was like, oh, I actually found out why, because the lead game designer that just left, that was like in charge of it for that period of time throughout the 90s and the 2000s, stuff like that, there was this game called like whatever, Age of Catharsis or whatever, where like basically like it's a 40-minute video of him being like laying out the story of that game and how he literally just tried to shugagug it into WoW. Yeah. You know? And he's like, it's not bad or poorly written, it just doesn't feel like Warcraft because it's literally not. It's literally just like this shit that like he tried to make, didn't work out, and he was like, well, why don't I just shove it into this bigger franchise? Yeah. And what I'm trying to say is that it's like, that's why, you know, Bethesda games or like Blizzard games or like, you know, BioWare games don't feel the way they did, is because like you don't have the guys that wrote New Vegas still working there.
Exactly.
Now it's some other guy who has some other idea that he's more, you know, passionate about, and he's trying to shove it in to whatever you think Fallout is. He's got an idea for what Fallout could be, and it's just probably, that's not always going to be a good thing. But yeah, sometimes, again, this is specific to that guy, not a diversity thing. I don't know if you've seen it though, but they did put one of the mages in World of Warcraft in a like arcane wheelchair.
No, I didn't see
that. Which just, I get it because the game has like helicopters and elevators and stuff like that, but nobody else in the game has a normal wheelchair for him to base that off of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I get it when people are like, what the fuck? Because it's just, you get what I'm saying? Where it's just like, if there were other people in wheelchairs, I would get it. But like, where did he come up with this wheelchair? Because I don't even think he rolls around. I think he floats in it. It's not bad. It's just like one of those things where it's like, what is this? Like, I don't know.
I mean,
but it's like one of those things where it's almost like we're in a fantasy world. Like, why not him sitting on a cloud because he's paraplegic or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, or a rug. But like the construct of a wheelchair, I get that in our world we see that and we're like, that's a wheelchair. But in the world of World of Warcraft, there's not another character in one. So like,
I would say with like,
come from?
Isn't there a character in Game of Thrones that's in a wheelchair?
I think so.
So like old-timey wheelchairs make sense, but
They do, but if it has to be like in the world
come out
somewhere.
of nowhere, just a magic wheelchair. If you can make a magic wheelchair, you can make a magic legs work potion, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. So it's not that I'm against the wheelchair. It's just that like it's like this is not. I know this is the most nerdy way I can say, but it's like this has no basis.
I get that. Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Not that it's a crazy construct, but like, why didn't they, before he did magic? Because that's got to be draining. Why didn't he like be like, can someone whip up a chair that moves?
Yeah.
That if he was just in a normal wheelchair, I feel like that'd be less. And then later on, if he got a magic wheelchair, then it'd be cool. You get what I'm saying?
You know what he could do?
What could he do?
He could use. Do they have like horses and like buggies and stuff like that? Use a shrinking spell to make one of those small, so he could just sit one guy in a little horse pull around everywhere. Yeah. They should have done that. They should Blizzard call me. I got ideas for you.
But yeah, it's just I think that's the big problem is like it happens with everybody. It's just like something like Friday the 13th. Or like Nightmare on Elm Street or something like. Though that's a good example of like, not everybody who gets handed the reins is gonna have like the best idea of what to do with.
Yeah,
Freddy Krueger. And,
absolutely.
That's kind of what happens with games. It's not because someone has a septum piercing and they/them pronouns.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that was just a curveball. That's what I wanted to tell you in the movie theater. But I was like, I'll save it for the podcast because it was just I was floored. I was kind of like, I was having a fun time listening to this thing about Fallout, and then
dude, that kind of happened to me with. I was watching a very long critique about Alan Wake 2, and this guy brought up the book Lunar Park. It's written by Bret Easton Ellis of Less Than Zero and American Psycho fame.
Yeah.
And it's a book of his where he's the main character in it. Like parts of his book start like invading his life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I started listening to it. I'm enjoying it. I like it. And I was listening, looking up like more of his stuff. In the past, I don't know, like 10 years, he wrote a book called White. It's his first nonfiction book. Just about how fucking annoying the left is. And how he's not a political guy. Mm-hmm. But fucking just these libtards. Just, I'm like, oh no, that's such a bummer to hear.
Yeah. I will say this also. It's in the bag. I would like to watch and discuss Sinister for the podcast.
Okay.
You've seen Sinister. It's been a while, I reckon.
I remember the Bagul.
Yeah.
But I think that's about it.
Yeah. Because it is a 3 out of 5. But it's one of those movies where it's like, oh, man. So much potential.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to run through it right now, but we'll talk about it on the podcast for real. Ethan Hawke. You start with him moving into the house. Mm-hmm. And the cops are at the end of the driveway. And they're mad at him because he's like a true crime author. And he wrote a really good book 10 years ago that actually solved a cold case. But then he wrote 2 other ones where he was just trying to kind of like recapture the magic and like some sloppy investigation, like just kind of flung mud around, made some cops look bad that didn't need to be looked bad, and like, stuff like that, right? So the cops are just like, we don't want you coming here and doing that kind of shit. Because he's like, it's a fall from grace kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
He is, as far as a character, like as far as written and acted, I think very compellingly, like so hyperfixated on like, and he says it many times where he's like, I need one more Kentucky Blood. Like that's like the book he did that was, and there's scenes where his character is like falling asleep, like watching interviews from that time and stuff. He's hyper-fixated on it. He's got a wife and 2 kids. And he's a decent husband and father outside of the hyper-fixation that is obviously, like, draining for his entire family to watch. But he's moved into this house because there was a familia-side situation where, like, the whole family got murdered and the daughter's missing, right? Very early in the movie, there's a point where his wife is like, tell me we didn't move 2 houses down from where it happened again, because like that's something he's done in the past. So they're moving there, and he's like, "No, we didn't," because they moved into the house where it actually happened. Okay, right? Yeah. I think the movie cold opens with one of the snuff films he finds, which is the hanging in the tree.
Okay, yeah.
And so like after he says we didn't move 2 houses down, or like maybe a shot or 2 later is him like drinking a coffee, looking out the window, and then you see the tree from that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's when you look at it online, a lot of the discussion is around how the first half is one of the scariest movies ever made, and then it just kind of like fizzles out. Like, it's not necessarily bad, it's just like mid cliche, like ending as it should kind of a thing, you know? And I get that. It definitely is less memorable as it goes on, but there is that portion in the beginning where he is just like staying up later than the rest of his family to work in his office, and he finds the snuff films and he's like watching them, and it's just got that vibe of like when you're up late at night and you accidentally scare yourself by like watching shit that like then like he'll just hear shit in the house and like, what the fuck, you know? Then just that stretch where, just like any other paranormal movie, Blair Witch Project or the Paranormal Activity films, it's just slowly escalating in severity and getting worse, and he just keeps like watching more and more of the snuff films and stuff. It's just great. It's like, and it's also very like, it has like a Stephen King kind of flair to it, which, same thing with The Black Phone, which is a movie that he also wrote and directed, the same guy that did Sinister, which I've heard okay things about. And I have a general interest, because of the fact that I did watch Sinister. And I was like, you know what, this is like a good 3 out of 5. I'm like really solid. I wish that it would have like stuck the landing more, not by my standards, just by like, I get it. I couldn't point to what, but like you finish the movie and you're like, yeah, that first half is almost like watching Zodiac or something, where you're just like kind of like, ooh, this is eerie, this is creepy, and then it just kind of like fizzles. Yeah. Not horribly disappointing, but just to a point where you're like, oh yeah, movie over, you know? So, I don't know. It's just interesting. I find it to be an interesting film.
Well, you sold me on it.
Yeah.
Even though you told me it fizzles out, I'd like to see it.
Yeah. So, that's on my mind. Black Phone's on my mind because it's Ethan Hawke and that guy writing and directing again, and it's kind of Stephen King-ish.
I know in Black Phone, his character just like kidnaps kids, and his name's the Grabber.
The Grabber.
I know that because they put him in Fortnite. Yeah. And I love Fortnite.
Well, real quick, the only thing I'll tell you about it is that he likes to play a game called Naughty Boy. And so what the game is you're locked in the basement, and he just like kind of sits in a chair in his kitchen, and if you can escape, you get out, and if you can't, he's going to beat you to fucking death with his bare hands. And that's Naughty Boy. You get beat for being a naughty boy, you know?
All right.
The only thing I don't like about, from what I've heard from it, I haven't seen it, but what I don't like from what I've heard about it is the mask. It just doesn't look...
It has interchangeable pieces.
But it doesn't look like something that a serial killer in the 70s would make.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know?
Yeah.
It just looks a little too... Spencer's Gifts. Like, it just looks like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
It looks too perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, like, really, really well cared for, crafted, and, like, intricate, and, you know. Very, I don't know.
It's clean.
Like, what did he make it out of? What is that material? You know, I don't know.
Maybe you'll have to watch the movie and find out.
Yeah. I'm sure they don't go into detail. But the second one, have you heard anything about the second one?
No, it looks cold. I saw a lot of ice on the trailer, the posters.
I hear it often compared to, for one, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Because the thing is like, without spoiling anything, he's kind of haunting one of the characters in their dreams. It takes place in a summer camp that's like abandoned, I guess, or something like that. So it's got just like summer camp, like Nightmare, or like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street vibes, plus like kind of a Scooby-Doo kind of vibe, Stephen King kind of vibe. So again, Black Phone 1 and 2, I'm not expecting them to be good, but it just sounds like the general flavor. Like I was saying in the theater to you, we watched the trailer for Scream 7. I was like, feed this piggy the slop.
I love it. Yeah.
Because, you know, at a certain point, I just want, like, can we just have some fun horror movies, man?
I'm pretty excited for Scream 7.
Yeah, I want to have fun with Scream 7, and I want to check out the Black Phone 1 and 2, perhaps. And also, Sinister would be a fun watch for the podcast. These are just eventual things, not now.
Yeah, I get that.
So next episode will be Paris, Texas, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Beautiful.
Great. And you know what? I'm realizing now also that we've watched the first one, we've watched the second one, as far as Texas Chainsaw Massacre is concerned. I think this year, that is one of the contenders for, if not the one we chose, for the Halloween.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah. But it should still be fine, because there's also the new generation, or the next generation, and then there's just a slew of, like, in the 2000s, they made, like, it might be less films than we usually do, but it's like they did a remake, then they did a sequel, then they did like a prequel, and then they did like another one or something like that. There's like 5 in there that we still haven't seen or something in the mix there. But
I can't say I'm excited.
anyways, hey,
Well, hey.
what you gonna do? All right, is that that?
Well, yeah, Chris, wonderful talking to you.
Wonderful talking to you.
I love the movies.
I love the movies.
I love going to the movies.
Yeah. All right, that's that, Mattress Man. If you need more soup, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or go to our website, eatingsoupalone.com. And until next time,